We are wrapping up our back to school edition of Public Affairs on Peach with Craig Harper. He's with the Professional Association of Georgia Educators. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
This is an exciting time of year. It's got to be a hectic time of year. Talk to me about what's going through a teacher's mind right now, the beginning of a new school year.
Well, depending on whether you're a veteran or you're a rookie and you're starting your first year, I think there's always a lot of excitement, certainly for those rookie teachers. It's the knowledge that they're going to be going into a classroom and they're going to have responsibility of their own for the first time. It's a little bit different than doing student teaching, and they're just anxious to get started and a little bit overwhelmed, but going to be reaching out, I'm sure, to the veterans in their building to make sure it's a good start.
What are you seeing just across the board with this profession in the state of Georgia? We have reported on the shortages and vacancies districts are trying to fill. Are fewer people flocking to the profession? Well,
Georgia does have an issue with the pipeline for teachers. If we weren't able to hire a good number of teachers from out of state that are moving into Georgia, we would have more shortages than we already do. We don't have the capacity in our universities to prepare enough traditionally prepared teachers to replace those who are retiring and the attrition that happens. So we're doing as much as we can as an organization at Page to develop the future Georgia educators and the teachers at a profession program in our high schools across the state to try to develop that interest in our young folks to really be interested in the profession of education and seek that as a career.
What do you hear about too much paperwork or getting bogged down with too much of those kinds of headaches for teachers? Right. Is that something you hear a lot of?
We do hear a lot about that, and it's probably been an issue for many, many years, but it seems like over the last 15 years or so after No Child Left Behind came in and all of the focus on standardized assessments and all the reporting that had to go with that teachers have been overwhelmed with that. And then the work that has gone into the evaluation systems and all of that additional work. It's actually one of the reasons that we have some of the pipeline and preparation issues. Young people hear that and they hear about the frustrations that teachers have. They want to teach, they want to be able to do what they need to do in the classroom and all these other things that kind of intrude on that and the requirements that they have. And so there's not been as much joy probably. There's not as much expression of the thrill of teaching and the excitement, and so we've got to
test scores and evaluations go into all of that?
It does because of some of the evaluations. Unfortunately, we've had some change in that, but trying to tie individual results to teachers and kind of the blame that's happened with that. Fortunately, we've seen a turnaround in that, not only through the legislature, but I think a lot of our parents and communities understand that's not the best way to judge how teachers and schools are performing, and that there's a whole lot of good things that happen in schools that aren't tied to test scores, and we are in our classrooms teaching children and developing relationships with children that develop them as a whole person and not just how they perform on a test one day.
Is that the best way your organization thinks it is to gauge a teacher and how he or she is performing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the relationship they're able to build with students and the progress that they're able to make. Children come to us with all levels of challenges as well as advantages, and we've got to work with all of those students in our system, in our systems around the state. And so not everybody's starting at the same point. Teachers develop relationships with kids. They do the best differentiated instruction they can, and they help those kids grow and make progress throughout the year.
Anything else you want to add, just that you want parents and students out there to know as a new school year kicks off?
We share your excitement when a new year starts, and communication is key. Teachers and students and teachers and parents and teachers and communities, and we seek their support and their advice and their recommendations for us how we can do the best for their child and their community.
Craig Harper, thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And we would like to tell you that CBS 46 cares. We are expanding our Books to Kids program to reach more young people. The Off the Hook Barbershop is one of more than 24 barbershops where we have helped install libraries. The goal is to get young boys reading. Statistics show many minority males, especially African Americans, are not proficient in reading by 3rd grade. This is an effort to improve their literacy. And a big thank you to our Books to Kids sponsors, Ken Nugent, attorneys at law, Page Turners Make Great Learners, the Georgia Department of Education, and 2 men and a truck. That'll do it for us today. Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Public Affairs on Peach. We'd love for you to join in on the conversation, or if you have a topic you would like to see us cover, let us know. You can send us an email to publicaffairs@cbs46.com. And be sure to like Public Affairs on Peach on Facebook. That's where we post upcoming episodes and ask for your feedback. That's it for this week's edition of Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Megan Packer. Thank you again so much to our guests today for coming in, and we'll be right back here next Saturday morning.